Frank Castle is dead. He died with his family. Number 3. In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Welcome to Film Juice. I'm Mike.
I'm John.
And we are going to juice the films of The Punisher today. Unfortunately, no, we're not going to touch on the Netflix series because we all know how good it is. But the films are very diverse and at the same time pandering and stupid. But they are stupid on different levels. So we're gonna talk about it in a chronological order, I guess, because the first one came out. It was actually released in '91, but it was made in '89. So I was wrong in assuming, like in conversations we've had, that it came about as a result of Batman '89. So we've got the Dolph Lundgren one, which is the first incarnation of the cinematic Punisher. John, what did you think about this movie?
Yeah, this is one, I remember seeing this back like several years ago, probably even longer than that. And being all right with it. Like, I think I was like a teenager, like a young teenager when I first saw this movie. But seeing it again recently, I mean, automatically I thought like the Terminator.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Like just the way the Punisher moves, talks, looks. He even has a motorcycle like Terminator. And you know, his main weapons are guns, you know. That's how he kills people. Except in this one, he kills a lot of people with knives. And
he does, yeah. That's like his like signature.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, that's an interesting kind of signature.
Like, did he do that himself? Like he molded his own little like knife handles?
Yeah, because that's the only time you see the Punisher logos on the knives that he has.
Yeah, because they don't put it on the shirt or the vest or whatever. Yeah, that's how they identify. Like, oh my God, it was the Punisher.
And you did tell me. I remember you telling me in past conversation that this movie, since he didn't have the shirt with the Punisher logo or the vest and with a logo, that this could have really been it could have been a movie about anyone, or
it could be, yeah, it could be called anything. They could have they didn't have to pay Marvel anything. It could have just been a guy. it could have been Death Wish 4, or whatever sequence it was in. He's like they briefly explain. Okay, so in this version, his family is the wife, and is this one a daughter?
I think it may be a daughter. Yeah,
Okay.
sounds right.
So wife and a daughter, they blew him up in a car.
Yes. Yeah.
That didn't happen in the comics. Um, and the movie isn't about that though. It just explains his origin in like 1 minute,
Right.
and then he's just like this like mythical vigilante that lives in the sewer, and I guess smells like shit all the time. Right?
It must be hot in the sewer, or I don't know if it's hot or cold, but he's always naked down there, and like every time you see
Oh
him in the
yeah,
sewer,
and
he's
you did warn me about that ball sack shot
yeah,
that's in there.
uh I I I just totally thought that was totally unnecessary. Um
Like,
I
why would
mean,
they do that?
yeah, I mean it's um yeah, you see him kind of reflecting on his life naked in the sewer in front of a fire, and you see a shadow of his nut sack, and it's like, okay, and he's like asking, God, where are you,
That should
well,
have been that should have been the movie poster.
right. uh
He's punishing your eyes.
yeah, man. And yeah, I thought it was interesting how I think they obviously were trying to, and you see this throughout all of the other two films, like this kind of questioning of if he, in his mind, if kind of justifying what he's doing, but at the same time knowing what he's doing is wrong.
Yeah,
Uh, and it's
he
kind of like
does.
you hear his
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yes. Yeah. You do hear his take on it in every movie.
Yeah.
In this one, he's like, no, they're not being executed, they're being punished. But it's kind of the same thing. I
Right.
mean,
Or yeah, he's like, it's not vengeance, it's punishment. Is
it's the same
another.
thing. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. And it's, I thought it was like looking at it more too, like I in this film I feel like he's actually further gone in some ways mentally,
yeah.
in his mind, from who he used to be, which is Frank Castle.
Which is weird because I feel like in the beginning of this Dolph Lundgren movie, he's a little more detached, and then when it becomes about getting the kids back from the mob or from the Yakuza, he becomes a little more humanized,
He does, yeah.
and he has a little more personality. I thought that was weird. Um, if there were like an actual storyline, like I don't want to bring it up right now, but like in Warzone where he's interacting with a child and it kind of brings him back a little bit. But in this, he's like he goes back to like well, what's Dolph Lundgren's Punisher about? He's already the Punisher. He's got Lou Gossett Jr. uh trying to bring him back. He can't find him because he's living in the sewer. Um, and he stinks all the time. Um,
And
and
he
so,
doesn't know, and he doesn't know that that's his ex-partner. For
I thought he did.
he he um
Or does he just speculate?
I think he may speculate, but from my understanding, Frank Castle just disappeared, and he's
Oh,
been,
along with okay,
and then the Punisher appeared, but he doesn't see the connection until later on in the movie.
okay. Because once they capture him, he's like, Frank, where did you go? And there's
Yeah.
like he's like slapping him.
Yeah,
And
dude.
if I were,
I was like,
and
you're
he's
smacking around the Punisher right here. What the? I was like, you're the only one who could do that, man.
yeah, I mean, so he's doing Punisher things. Nothing really happens in the first half of the movie. I was like, where's the Punisher? When's the Punisher gonna come out?
Well,
He came out like once.
what I did like is, yeah, when he blows up that house from the mob guy
Yes, yeah.
who was basically getting away with some kind of crime, and he goes home after the trial, and the Punisher's there waiting for them, and he takes them all out and blows up the house. And I thought that was a cool scene where the reporters are outside and, waiting for the mob guy to come out, and they see the house on fire, and then they see the Punisher at the door,
Oh yeah, and then
at
he
the
walks
doorway.
off,
Yeah,
and then it blows up.
yeah, that was pretty neat. I was like, man,
Yeah.
it's a pretty badass
There's some
scene.
really nice cinematography in this movie, I have to say. A lot of the camera movements I was looking at, and I was like, hey, this reminds me of Maniac Cop. The director is William Lustig, and a lot of it is like one takes. Did you notice that?
I
Like,
did notice some of that.
everything was very fluid.
Which is who's known for doing that? Quentin. It's not Quentin Tarantino. It's
Martin Scorsese.
There we go. Yeah, him. I noticed that too, especially when they go into the club.
Yes, yeah.
It's like one take all the way down into the club.
But like, even when Lou Gossett Jr. goes into the cell with Frank Castle in it, he's like, "What's wrong with you, Luke? Luke Castle? Luke Castle?" But he goes in there, and the camera like follows him entirely, the entire scene.
That was a
like,
long.
Hey,
scene.
that's
You're right.
like pretty good. And then even like
now.
all the sewer scenes.
Oh, true. They're the camera. You're kind of with the camera going into the sewer, right?
Yeah. But it was the director of. He actually edited. I felt like a lot of it felt like RoboCop.
Yeah.
Like you felt like Terminator. I felt like RoboCop, and I looked at it, and the guy actually edited the first two RoboCop movies.
Oh wow.
So I mean, he didn't film it, so I don't know how much that counts, but it was an observation.
Yeah, this one has a lot of shots in the dark, just like those movies, Terminator especially, but
like those like long takes, where it was like they probably rehearsed this 100 times in order to get this like. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah. I liked some of the action with the Punisher. There's some scenes where he gets some like really good takedowns.
Oh yeah.
Things you want to see the Punisher do, like when he's fighting a couple of criminals, he ends up. I remember there's one scene where he he has a gun in one hand and the other hand's kind of keeping off the criminal, and he grabs him with one hand, and then he like shoots him in the head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, that's. I mean,
It's just
That's
there's some
something you wanna see.
slick. Yeah, there's some slick action in there.
yeah. And, I know some of when he's fighting too, like Dolph Lundgren. There aren't too many where they're hand to hand, that are like that stay on them, like the camera stays on them for a while. But there are a few scenes, and you could see. I thought it was cool. You can actually see him like fighting,
Yeah.
and because he was a martial artist. I mean, he
Oh yeah, yeah. He
he
practiced some kind of
yeah
something.
some kind of martial art throughout his life. So that was cool. Like, and you can see it in his stance and everything that he's pretty
He knew what he was doing.
practiced in it. Yeah, exactly.
I did like that there were two end bad guys.
You
There was
did.
I like that. Because the guy's like, help me save my son or I'll kill your friend, and he's like, okay, and then he saves the son, and then he's like, well, I'm gonna kill you now.
Yeah.
Even and it's like, well, and that kid actor was actually pretty good. Like he was actually he was really crying. I was like, did this kid's dad actually die at some point? I mean, I didn't like that too much, but I don't know, given, the year and the rating, it's fine. It's
Oh, like it's like him killing his dad in front of him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the kid's just like, I'm gonna kill you. And he's holding a gun, and they wouldn't have that scene in a
Oh,
movie today.
that's true. That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
They're not gonna put a gun in a kid's hands today. And he's like, yeah, go ahead, kill me. And he puts the gun to his own head.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid just starts crying, and he's like, oh, it's okay, baby. And then he breastfeeds him, and it's okay, baby.
He's like, you're a good boy.
A good boy, baby.
Now grow up to be a good man.
Now grow up to be good man. Good man, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to that kid? Did he invest his mafia dad's money, or I'm curious about that. or did he just have to like work his way up because he went to a foster family? But yeah, I hated the ending because Lou Gossett Jr. is just screaming off
Frank,
where are you?
on top of the like Empire State Building or something.
Yeah, and it just like keeps zooming out, and I'm like, oh god, you're not accomplishing
this guy's
anything.
tortured, man. Yeah.
Like, are you gonna start drinking? Are you gonna start drinking again? Is that what you're afraid of? Because that's what he was talking about, right? Like, Frank Castle helped him like stop drinking, and
yeah, that's right.
And now he's just alone, and Frank Castle is who. I've got a theory, but I'll bring it up later.
Okay.
What's the next one? Thomas Jane?
Yes, I do want to say though for that Punisher.
Yeah.
with Rolf Lundgren. He had a rebel without a cause type personality through a lot of the movie, which I think was a bad thing for the movie because you didn't feel why he was doing what he was doing. Like
That was the main problem with the movie.
Yeah.
Was there was no. They explain what happened, and they're just like, well, now he kills people that break the law
yeah,
in violent ways, and they didn't explain it enough, I guess. It felt kind of absent-minded. Does that make sense?
yeah, it did. You didn't. Yeah, there was very little convincing motivation. You know.
Yes, yeah. Because I mean, okay, well, no, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like his personality was very like robotic, and where he was just kind of like
Like the only guy he cared,
monotone on every
the only
every
person
line.
he cared, the only person he cared for was the homeless, balding old man.
Yeah, his little sidekick kind of guy.
Yeah, his little sidekick.
So yeah, I think that was I don't think that helped the movie, and then along with that too, the music was just very generic.
No, I thought so too. Yeah, the music wasn't very good. It was pretty weak. I feel like it was made as a. I hate going back to this, but I feel like it was made in opposition to Batman because it was 1989. But they didn't even release it theatrically. They had to put it out direct to video.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that wasn't until 91.
And was this one an R rating?
I think it was an R.
Yeah, that was this may have been a first for for a Marvel
comic
character.
book movie. Yeah,
you think comic in general too?
I think so.
Okay, wow.
Because Superman was pre any kind of rating. There were no ratings back then. I think it was like 83 or 84. They started doing the parental ratings.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was Raiders of the Lost Ark that had the first PG-13. I could be wrong. I don't know. I get my trivia mixed up.
But yeah, so that's that one. I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's some cool scenes. Him and the guy shooting up the dojo.
That was that was the ending sequence, the last act, basically.
Like where he was like, "You gotta help me, or I'm gonna kill you, or I'm gonna kill your friend," and
Right.
he helps him, and then he betrays him anyway.
The female Yakuza boss, which is the other villain, I thought she did a good job. I thought
she did, but why would she dress as a geisha?
Yeah, that was. And I think there's like a lesbian thing going on with her too, right?
With that blonde American?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because like when they're in the dojo, like in the background, you see geishas like fondling each other.
Oh my god! You paid attention to that?
It was something I noticed. I noticed it in
Was
the
it?
background.
Or was it something you were looking for throughout the entire movie?
I was looking for geishas.
Yeah, you're looking for geishas.
Geishas, yeah. Where are those geishas?
Every movie,
I know.
look out for the geishas.
But yeah, that was. I don't know. It was very subtle if it was, but it
Yeah,
seemed.
because the blonde chick, I was like, who? What is she? Like, I know
Right?
he killed her at the end, but I was like, what? Why is she there?
Yeah, and I think it was like. I think it was like very subtly implied that there was some. Uh,
No, you wanted that.
Hey, I wanted to see. I wanted the truth, Mike. I wanted the truth.
It's fake news.
But yeah, the Yakuza boss was I thought that was you really didn't she was a good boss in the sense that she was a good villain in the sense that you really didn't like her either.
Yeah, and then she took over all of the crime bosses.
Yeah. She outsmarted them and everything, and
Yeah. Well, not even outsmarted. She just killed everybody.
true. But yeah, that's
What do we got?
so
2004.
right. So this one, he has a theme song. I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, it's a very sad song.
It's you think so?
Sounds like a tragic kind of movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with that. It has like a sense of um of overcoming though too in it. Like it has
Yeah, that too. It does have.
like triumphant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
And I think that really helps the movie. By the way, I think it really helped this character.
Yeah, because he's basically suicidal
Yeah.
the entire movie. And I have to say, I agree with you. I didn't agree with you the other day. I rewatched it. It is the best movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where the character he has an arc. He has a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like the guy has a backstory. We're not going to explain it. We're just going to give him a gun and he can go vengeance, whatever, shoot everyone.
Right.
But this was like, yeah, it felt like a real movie. It's not my favorite for a lot of reasons, but I did like how it made him from like a family man, and you see him like kind of slump into this
vigilante, you know.
the vigilante
Uh,
Punisher.
ruthless, you know, very ruthless.
Yeah.
Vigilante. And you know, I liked how you know, this is like an origins movie of the Punisher.
It is, yeah.
And it's not
we've never seen that before.
right. And it's not him like 20, you know, 5-6 years or whatever after, or, you know,
No, it's like immediately after. It's like him growing.
Yeah. And so like I like seeing I like that it wasn't full on um full on like ruthless brutality, you know,
Yeah,
killing. Because it's understandable too, like in that he's he's still he's always been fighting with it, you know,
yeah,
of wanting, you know, to seek revenge on his own or wait for justice to play out through the law.
yeah.
And
But this
so
was something else. Like there's, it was basically like a corporation, right?
yeah, it's a mixture of like a corporation mix involved with the mob.
Yeah,
And John Travolta's character, which I think I think having John Travolta helped this movie too. Um, but I don't think his character was that great of a villain.
no, he wasn't. Um, I think they should have done Jigsaw in some
Mhm.
way. Like maybe it was like a fellow, like he was in the military, a fellow soldier that, you know, sustained injuries. He came back to America and he started a business with his, you know, uh, I
Like the
don't
show.
know, like
Like the
a
show. That's what it sounds
reality
like.
show.
Yeah, I
Hey,
feel like
I'm Billy Russo, and I got a bunch of scratches on my face.
um yeah, he John Travolta just I mean obviously a great actor. I mean, I really like him in a good amount of movies, but um what's it called? Yeah, this character just was I could and I wonder like I feel like he tried to add some kind of style, you know, some character to his character and the little weird things that he would do throughout the movie. But I think they just ended up coming off kind of strange.
Which one?
Um, so John Travolta's character, like when he's asked,
Oh,
why is he still alive? He's like, well, maybe he died and came back to life so we can kill him. You know, he
oh
made
yeah, yeah, yeah,
comments like that. Um, and I
yeah.
think maybe he was trying to like improv there. I don't know, but uh, it just didn't work. It didn't really.
Well, it didn't make sense that he lived in the first place. If they had just shot him in the knees and then he like it's plausible that he flew off the pier when the thing blew up. Um,
Mhm.
and he lives. That would make sense. And they already built up like, oh, there's that guy, and it's like, well, who's that black guy? And it's like, oh, that black guy. Oh, he might be a witch doctor. Oh, okay. And
No,
then
yeah.
he went and picked him up, and he was like, hey, I'll take care of you for several months for no reason. Um,
Right. No, make sure these
like,
bullet wounds don't kill
yeah,
you.
well, I'll take the bullets out. You know, I'll wrap you up. You'll be okay. But the fact that he was shot like in the chest,
Yeah, almost
it
right
could
there
have
in the
punched,
heart.
could
Yeah.
have punched a, could have punched a lung.
Yeah, and from where he was shot, it did look like they were aiming for the heart, and I guess it just
Yeah.
missed his heart.
No,
Um,
they hit him in the right side. So, I mean, they could have hit his liver.
hmm.
Um, I don't know what to think about that when he came back to life.
Yeah.
But he did come back to life. Let's just think within the story, because there's no way we can apply any logic.
Right. And yeah, exactly. It's a movie, it's a comic book character. It's, yeah.
But that didn't even happen in the comic. It's even beyond the comic. Like you can't even.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That didn't. Yeah, that didn't happen in the comic. But he does come back, and he's got like a beard and everything, and he's like, "All right, thank you, black guy." And he comes back, and then
He picks up the Punisher shirt.
he does. Yes, that's the important part. He's like, "Oh, my son wanted me to have this."
And it's what inspires him to take revenge, to seek some justice.
But why? Is he mad? I can hear you scratching your face.
Yeah, I'm scratching my face. My beard's itchy.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Yeah, I mean it's implied at that point in time you've spent time with his family, like you were saying, and you know they were slaughtered before his eyes, and he took some of them out. He took some of the mafia out, or the mob guys out. And,
Whatever they are. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, ultimately he was unsuccessful, and they were killed. I mean, they were run over. They were killed pretty brutally.
Yeah, I was surprised. Well, I guess they didn't want to make it too brutal. Like if they ran over them, it would have been pretty bad, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some vehicular manslaughters before. Yeah, it wouldn't have been that pretty.
So yeah, so he obviously has that. He knows who did it, and I think he has suspicions. I don't think he knows exactly,
Yeah.
but he does go back home, and like you said, it's been several months, and the police still haven't found who murdered his family, and he's that's where he's kind of like, where's the justice?
Yeah.
For me
That's
and my
when
family.
I thought it was stupid that he revealed himself.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that?
Yeah, I thought it was strange because then it let his
neighbors, right?
It let everyone know. Everyone found out that he was still alive. So John Travolta's character and everything, they knew.
And then he put his innocent little neighbors in jeopardy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Those nice people.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
And they're just like wondering about him, like half the movie. And they're like, who is this guy? Like, what is he? And one of them is really good at baking. One of them is like all pierced up, and one of them is a sexy waitress.
Yeah.
And that's actually straight from the comics, because it's from one specific line. I can't remember which one. But yeah, that pretty much the whole movie is lifted from one specific line of Punisher comics. Like even the Russian fight.
Mm-hmm. That was a good scene.
That's a great fight. I love that. Like he gets his ass beat.
Yeah, and you feel like looking at that Russian dude, like, or yeah, you don't know how he's gonna take him out, man, because that guy
Well, he
looks
can't.
unstoppable.
Well, at one point, he's just crawling away from it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's just like, what are you gonna do? Like, and it's just like throw a pot of hot water in his face and throw him down the stairs.
I liked. I also liked the other guy they sent after him. The Johnny Cash looking character,
Oh, I love that part.
and he
I
sings
can
in the
see
song.
what you're thinking, all your doubts and fears. And then he's just like, I'm singing it at your funeral. And he walks out.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Walks out of the diner.
Yeah, he's just like, you don't have any coffee or pancake?
That was cool, and then the car
And-
chase.
Yeah, I loved how he had like the little like gadgets. I guess they weren't gadgets, but he like pulls down the thing over his side view.
Oh yeah, like the armor. in
yeah,
his
the
car.
armor car. Yeah, and he's like, and he actually does take the guy's car
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the movie. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was cool. He actually has played Johnny Cash in a movie before.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when I was younger, I thought that was Johnny Cash, and yeah.
Well, that would have been awesome. Johnny Cash versus the Punisher.
Yeah, I wish there was some more like it would have been cool if there was like some more gun action between them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He took him out pretty quickly.
He was like bringing a knife to a gunfight, and he just like, junk, just like shoots him the knife
Yeah, right in his
in the
neck.
in the neck with a jackknife.
That was
Like,
pretty
well,
cool.
well,
So those were two good villains, like just like short villains throughout.
yeah, because Howard Saint ultimately was just a fucking mob boss that had, he was spoiled.
Yeah.
He's
He-
used to having all this protection.
Right.
And yeah, he had Frank Castle's entire family killed because his wife wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Because one kid was killed during a weapons what was it?
Yeah, it was
A
like a weapons
weapons-
deal.
Like a weapons deal, yeah. And she's like, yeah, kill all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For a while I considered that overkill, but I'm like, that bitch is crazy.
Right. Yeah, that's that's what it was trying to get to. How they're both kind of really crazy, her and Howard Saint.
Yeah. But no, go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the things again that brought down the movie was the lack of that central, a really good central villain.
Like a good villain. Yeah.
Yeah, he was passable. It was definitely
Yeah.
like it did the job. Howard Saint's character, John Travolta played, and
Mhm.
but and then you had you had them throw in those other little villains to try and spice it up a bit.
Yeah,
Like the Johnny
guitar
Cash.
guy.
And,
and
yeah.
the Johnny Cash, the Punisher villain, Johnny Cash.
And the Russian and
Johnny Cash and Candy Cane.
yeah, the big old candy cane. But yeah, I liked how the Punisher didn't just go brute force on everyone.
I like that too. He was a little more calculated, a little smarter.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just like, let me go in with 2 machine guns and kill everybody. And when I run out of machine guns, I'll take out these Glocks, dual Glocks, just shoot everybody else.
So you see him use his wits and his military background.
And his like
background.
special ops or whatever he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was smart about it.
Yeah, doing all the research, getting someone who's on the inside to work for him.
Like, not only that, but like that he was so cunning that he went out of his way to like take photographs, fake a fire hydrant, which I thought was kind of silly, but it's okay. It worked. Like give her a parking ticket on this day, and at the same time she was at the hotel, and the same time Quentin was at the hotel, turn everybody against each other and torture Saint that way. The way that probably he feels tortured. And yeah, I do like that version of the Punisher. Where he's not just some gun nut, kill everything that's a threat kind of guy.
Yeah.
Where the comics often do. In comics, it's like a shortcut. They don't often delve into his psychology, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, to see him being kind of, like, smart, and I didn't appreciate it when I was younger. Seeing it recently, yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah,
like
same
that.
here. I was gonna say, like, when I was younger, I did feel it was, yeah, I didn't appreciate it as much, but now seeing it again recently, I'm like, yeah, this is actually, I like the movie more. I appreciated it more.
Yeah, no, it's a smart. It's like Home Alone. It's like if, it's like if Kevin McAllister grew up and his whole family was killed.
Oh, and he has to, yeah, he has to set traps and how he take out.
Yeah, like he just sabotages the Marv, and it's just smarter. But what do we have next?
So next up, we have Warzone, Punisher Warzone, released in 2008.
2008. Okay.
And
oh my god.
This one was like, this one I feel like was a little overkill on his brutality, but I figured that maybe that was maybe more true to the character in some ways.
It is.
And yeah, right, this is like one of the first scenes where he's taking a bunch of, I guess it's the mob again. He's taking out some mob guys, and he like.
How many mobs are there?
I know.
Damn it!
And this is like 2008, so I mean,
Can't be
this.
that many.
Yeah, I know, right? Uh, and so yeah, like he takes out his big ol' I don't know, it's a Bowie knife or like just this. I think that's what they're called, Bowie knives.
It's a Crockett knife.
And it just goes right into the head of one of the mob dudes. I'm
Oh
just like,
yeah, yeah,
dang, like brutal
yeah.
force.
The
And then he
movies
pulls
are
it out.
automatically. Yeah, the movie tells you immediately, like, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's going on. Um, and then he proceeds to like completely destroy like some kind of mob, right?
Yeah, like he just everyone. What I did like is well, so yeah, this one's definitely this Punisher's more. He goes in to kill like he at first sight, you know.
Like there's no negotiations, there's no talking.
There's
It's
no
just
it's shoot to kill as well. There's no wound.
yeah,
It's his first shot is going to be a kill shot.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, you see that right away, and I thought like that was smart too. Like you know, there's a smart thing about that to where you know this these guys aren't gonna you know appreciate his mercy.
cooperate
Yeah,
or yeah,
they're gonna if they can take him out, they will. You know, um, and so you know it makes sense that he would go in and just you know shoot to kill, but he ends up killing, which I thought was kind of a good part of the story, which was where he ends up killing an undercover police officer because of that
ooh,
mentality. Yeah, and and that's where I was like, oh wow, you know, and that really kind of that's what brought this Punisher to question what he was doing, if he was doing the right thing, because he in this Punisher he's like 4 or 5 years in.
yeah. They talk about it on the news, like inside of the movie. Um, like him and his daughter and his wife, and I'm like, how many types of family can this man have that are going to be killed by the fucking mob? Um, in this one, how many did he have?
um,
He just had a daughter, right?
it was a kid and wife. I remember that much because they
What was
didn't.
the
It was very very brief what they showed.
yeah? What was the last one?
And the last one he had a boy. It was a wife, a boy, and
Okay,
yeah, a boy. Um,
and the one before that was a daughter.
I think
Okay, so
yeah.
daughter, son. I want to say with yours it was also a daughter.
Okay,
So
with
daughter,
Warzone.
son, yeah, with Warzone. Daughter, son, daughter, and then in the series, he had two kids. Oh my god. Um, I think it was son and daughter.
I think
So
yeah,
the more kids, the more vengeance.
yeah,
Any,
probably sounds about right.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Um, but yeah, I think he really looked to the part of the comic Punisher in
Mhm.
Punisher Warzone. He looked like the comics I've seen of the Punisher. Like he's a bigger guy. He's not very slim. Um,
Oh,
like in
he's not like trim.
yeah, he's not.
He's very like he's very
He's
kind of bulky.
yeah, yeah. He's a bulky guy. And he's an older guy from the ones that I've seen.
Hmm.
He has his hair slicked back just like the Punisher in Warzone.
Yeah, and I
Um,
like the collar too. I like that,
oh yeah,
which
yeah,
makes sense. I mean, you should have one. I think everyone should have a collar.
Yeah, it
just
was
in
like some
case.
kind of like it was part of his vest or something, right?
Yeah, like extended upwards, just in case you get attacked knife wise.
Okay. To protect
You don't
his
want you don't want that. You don't want to get
yeah.
knife attacked.
He so yeah, he did have that look of the comic Punisher. I just I don't know if it was just the way the actor's good too. I think he did a good
Yeah,
job.
he was fine.
Um it was just kind of odd to see uh I guess it was weird for me to see the Punisher like that in the movie, even though I'm used to him like that in the comics that I've seen.
Hmm.
It was just I guess seeing him in the movie like that was kind of like it took a minute for me to get used to,
Like
and
how, like the brutality or the personality.
it was just the look of who played him. It
Oh,
was,
okay.
it was just the look of the
Yeah, he
Punisher
looked.
himself.
He was. Yeah, he's a little bit older.
He looked. You know what? I think is what it was. I don't think he looked as um maybe it's because maybe I feel like maybe he just looked too old to me. He looked a little old.
Okay. Okay.
Um so cuz he did I think he was like he had the potential to look more the most threatening out of all the
Hmm.
Punishers in the movies. But his age I think was just in the back of my mind, It was just kind of like
Yeah,
there and
he's like in his like late 40s.
because he almost looked like in his 50s, don't you think?
Oh,
Like early
yeah,
50s.
yeah.
Um,
Because I mean, right after that movie, he came out in something else, and I saw some behind the scenes stuff, and he was like gray, and I'm like, oh, I
mm.
didn't know you were that old. Like,
uh,
um,
and this one definitely has this one it looks more budget film,
yeah,
the look of
there's,
it.
but
Uh,
you know what I liked about it? Um, just the, I don't, I don't know how to say it. I know there's a specific term for this. Um, the colors of the,
mm,
like just the general, like there's like some greens and oranges and like some
some
blacks, that
neons.
some neon colors, like I said, like Batman and Robin, but in a good way.
Yeah,
um
I agree. Yeah, the
it
look of
felt
it
very
does look nice.
stylized,
Yeah.
and like it just felt very different. Even though it was very violent, it still felt very fantasy. Like it didn't feel like it was deviating too far
Mm,
from the other movies. It just felt like it was like it had a flavor to it.
yeah, I think it felt like a comic book character.
That's what I felt. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Um, and I think I think that can make some fans really happy. But for me, I it was it was appealing. It was appealing, but I guess from looking at it as someone who's new to the
Hmm.
Punisher, it it could be more so off-putting than something that a fan might actually uh
Yeah, it can
feel,
be kind of clashy. I can see that.
But yeah, it's
Like
not.
it's a violent vigilante motion picture
Mhm.
versus a comic book movie, and then they're squashed together, and you're expected to, I don't know, enjoy both at the same time.
Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah, that's kind of weird. But yeah, it is a bit of a clash.
yeah. You know where it fell apart for me?
Or
It fell apart with when the villain, what's his name, Jigsaw,
Mhm.
where he meets up, he teams up with his brother.
Oh, Looney Bin Jim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That Looney Bin Jim was just the
I
oddest
thought that
thing
was kind
ever.
of like I I thought the same thing. And I've never read comics with him in it, but I'm aware of that character,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, why is this character in this movie? Um doesn't have to be. Could
Mm-mm.
just be he could have just saved one of his big bads, because there's always like the super villain, and then there's like his super henchman, like the second in command that
Mm-hmm.
you got to beat before you get to the big guy. um I saw that and I was like, this ain't gonna work, and he's just gonna be a piece of shit. um yeah, I didn't like that character being in that movie. Especially, I didn't like that Micro died.
Me either. Yeah. At
I
the
thought that
end
was
there.
unnecessary.
Same here.
And like, I know they were raising the stakes, but we already knew what was going to happen. He was going to win, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need somebody to die for that. That kind of upset me. Like, I wasn't on board for that. Um,
It made me feel like it made me feel like a little bit of that was thrown together. Um,
it felt a little bit like it was kind of strung along,
hmm.
while it was made. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because I felt that way
Like,
too as it was going and as the
they were
villains.
just kind of making it up as they went along.
Mhm. And when like Jigsaw goes with his brother to convince every gang to go against the Punisher.
Oh, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
That was
It's like
complete bullshit.
it's like why would these people listen to this messed up face
Yeah.
dude and his
Oh,
crazy
this
flesh
insane
eating
guy
brother? Yeah.
and his brother which has bandages all over his fucking face. Uh, they're
He's a
just gonna listen
cannibal.
to him. Yeah, he also a cannibal. Um, why are they just gonna listen to him? Like, all these different ethnicities and gangs, they're gonna join together because they hate the Punisher, and the Punisher has never killed them before, and now he is gonna kill all of them. Um, I mean, if you want to, like,
Right. Yeah, and I
like,
did
I didn't know
like
what to think.
I there was something else I did like about the movie though. I liked how the part where the undercover cop he killed, like his wife and child were left behind,
Yeah.
the widow and everything, and he throughout this as the movie goes on, he ends up protecting them
Hmm.
and kind of gets a little bit of redemption at the end where the widow, is like, my husband, we would fight over you know, we would
Over
have
him, right?
conversations. Yeah, we disagree and we'd have fights over whether you were a good or bad guy. And you know, he always thought, you know, my husband always thought you were a good guy, and I agree with him now. You know, and that was cool. I was like, you know, that's
At least there's a connection there.
mm-hmm.
Soap is apparently a character in the comics. I don't know the extent of his involvement, but he is in the comics.
Mm. And that's Jigsaw's brother? Or who is that?
Not in the comics. No, the detective.
Oh, the detective, that's his name. So
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So, yeah. The wimpy somehow he made. How did he make detective?
Well, they kept him in the area like away from all the other detectives, remember? Oh, no, he was a psychologist. That's what he was in the movie.
Yeah, he's got a degree in psychology.
That's what it was, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Just like
Like,
you.
he's terrible. It's like if I were to be a detective.
I
He's
just
like, what
remembered.
do I do? I don't know what to do. Scoob. Scoobs. Feel like crying for Scooby Doo to help me out. They're like, he doesn't exist. Yes, he does.
But yeah, man, that's it's pretty much Warzone, I think.
Pretty much. I mean, okay, what did you like about it?
Overall, I thought, you know, the look, most of the brutality of the Punisher, he's deep in. So I see this movie like as like he's not. This isn't an origin movie of the Punisher. This is
No, it's just like a continuation.
yeah,
like
like sometime.
It's like called in media res. You're just like in the middle of whatever's happening.
Yeah, and so looking at it from that perspective, you know, I understand. Yeah, he's super. He's at a point where he's like, he's not Frank Castle. You know, he's far away from Frank Castle, and he even talks about it in the movie a little bit. He mentions how far he's gone, and when his cop friend is helping him out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that he's, you know, it's a different time in his story, and they're showing it, you know, how brutal it gets and how far he goes, and I like how it also shows him seeking some kind of peace, you know, in his mind and heart about it, and kind of protecting his friends from doing the same, because you know he still knows that it's wrong.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think it looks really nice. Most of the movie looks really good.
No, it does. Like the just the weird colors and the greens and the neon. You know,
the music was all right.
I mean,
yeah, they have a lot of like Slipknot and Rob Zombie.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, it's funny. They have Slipknot when Jigsaw's in the car, when you first like see his face all messed up.
I didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, my wife noticed that.
Maybe I have an immunity to it.
Because Slipknot
I don't
had
want to
those
hear
masks, you know,
Oh my god.
with the messed up faces, like Leatherface.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
god.
yeah. I thought that was my wife noticed it and pointed it out, and I was like, oh yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. But yeah, the music was all right though. I mean, it was a little it was all right. It wasn't.
It's not horrible.
Yeah, it's not horrible. But yeah, man, I think the story was okay too. It wasn't. Um, it was a little. In this one, I think it suffered from not knowing his motivation as much as well.
Yeah.
Um,
It uh the third one had the same problems as the first one.
yeah, yeah.
Like you don't like what is he thinking? Like why is he doing this? And the first one was the worst, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
I
don't know if
agree.
you agree. Okay.
I do. Yeah.
And second one was the best made movie because it was an origin film.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of explains like what happens to him afterwards. The third one I don't think is deserves even to be contained within the same Thomas Jane Punisher. I mean, he lost two kids in that one. So, I mean, like, what? The third one is just a nice Punisher adventure.
Yeah, I think it definitely shows the Punisher kicking ass. The most.
Yeah, and it does a good job of it. Yeah,
I think it does too. Like,
and except for Micro,
yeah,
he should have died.
Yeah, he was the one who got him all his tech and guns and stuff, and
Now what's he gonna do?
he was his only friend basically too.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's
I think his cousin might
let's
still be alive.
they got a cousin?
Yeah, he had a cousin. Remember the Hispanic cousin or something?
Oh, he's dead.
They killed him too.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. That sucks.
yeah.
That sucks. Yeah.
Diego,
Yeah,
whatever.
I think that was his name. Overall, I do the 2004 Thomas Jane. I think if I had to say like which one was the best movie, yeah, I would say that one, The Punisher 2004. Thomas Jane
I would have to. You have done the impossible and convinced me
Yeah.
that the Thomas Jane version is the best one. I do more enjoy. Okay, let me put it this way: the best movie of the Punisher is the Thomas Jane one.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the most entertaining and the most truest to the best parts of the Punisher character are in Warzone because it's so violent and so tasteless. But there's no tits, which I really appreciate, honestly.
Oh yeah, I
I
guess
don't-
there isn't in that one, huh?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. The other two did have some brief nudity. Right.
well, I mean, the Thomas Jane one had like the John Travolta wife in a thong.
Oh yeah, and then there was like
There was like some
slut
kind of
scene,
slut scene. Yeah,
prostitute scenes. Yeah.
no slut. She don't charge.
But yeah.
For me, like yeah. I do appreciate the second one. The first one is boring as fuck for the first 45 minutes.
It is pretty boring. Yeah.
And what do you think? Like on the whole, like I know you like the second one, right?
Yeah,
The
2004 is my
2000,
top one.
2000, 2004. Me too. That's the best movie.
I think, looking at it too as an origin, I know it's not like I like seeing Punisher, like for instance, like with the series,
Hmm.
show series, like I like seeing him violent in that one a lot more than um, I think even in the movies, um,
Yeah,
the movies violence, but as an origin too, like I understand like he's not completely, he's not too far in the hole, and
yeah.
he hasn't walked down that Punisher road too long at all. So, um,
Because
you know,
right
he
now, and in the comics, he is Ghost Rider.
he's Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah,
Like for real?
yeah.
That's weird. Why
Why
is he
would I
Ghost
make that
Rider?
up?
Who would make that up? Why would someone do that?
Well, for whatever reason, and I haven't read the comics, but he became Ghost Rider, uh, and now he's Cosmic Ghost Rider, and he goes through space.
That's lame. And that's the thing too. I think it's a little harder to do a Punisher character nowadays with
Oh
the
shit!
yeah, with all the you know
It's really the movies that are ruining everything. Um,
and the kind of disappearance of the mob, it's
yeah.
and
Like why isn't
organized
Batman?
crime.
Why isn't Batman dealing with crime anymore? He's dealing with aliens. Um,
Um,
it got to that point in the 80s, and the 80s like kind of wiped that clean. It's just a phase. It'll come back.
I
They're
think,
just stupid.
and I think honestly, I think it's with this whole wanting to be modern thing,
Hmm.
wanting to pull everything into like today, like right now, so
Yeah,
and it's like you could you can do an alternate reality for one thing, you could do where the mob, yeah, where it was never like dismantled, and or do something in the past, or
like
even,
time travel stuff.
or not even just try and travel, but like how the Joker did, for instance, like how it almost seems like it's in the 70s,
Okay, yeah,
um and just be like, yeah, it doesn't have to be like right now, or like 2 years from now or whatever, like they like to do it, and
yeah.
with a lot
I
of these
feel like
movies.
I feel like the Marvel movies have kind of painted themselves into a corner, um, where they're like, oh shit, what do we do now? And it's like, well, you can paint yourself upwards and just, yeah, Endgame was probably the best movie you guys have done, but there's upwards. You guys keep going. Make a good Spider-Man movie. Put Venom in it if you can.
Yeah, I think if they were to bring Punisher, I know I mentioned this to you before, if they're to bring him back again, whether it's origin or he's he appears somewhere, somewhere in history,
Yeah,
I think maybe with the cartels, if anything.
They did that in the series.
They did do
I'm
that.
telling you, you gotta watch that, man, on Netflix.
It's been a while. I did like to see. I've seen it all. It's just been a while.
They did a little bit. And then
Oh, season 2? Is that what season?
yeah,
Okay.
a little bit. But
I
that
don't know
is
if I ever
something they
finished
should
it. Now that I think
that is
about it.
something they should touch on. To make it more relevant and not just like a novelty of violence.
Yeah, make him someone like that's such a
Like
it's an
a
opportunity
character,
right there.
yeah,
Good
that
opportunity.
a character who is violent, but he also matters. Like he's
Yeah.
doing things that law enforcement can't do, but he's also maybe setting a standard.
Yeah, I think there's like this belief too, like right now, like there's like just this huge paranoia almost of like media, and it's I think media influencing real life,
Mhm.
or like art influencing,
Art
or real life imitating art.
influencing art. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it's always happened, but I mean, you gotta give people credit to know, like, hey, this is not real,
yeah. It's not real. It's just an idea that
Yeah,
may or may not entertain you.
because I mean, if you think about it, like, if people were so paranoid, like, we would have never made these characters would have never been made, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like at the time, there was, a mob that
Well,
had a lot of
I mean,
influence.
I think the best example of that is probably the X-Men, where Stan Lee was like, "Oh, this is about the civil rights movement, and there's people that are different that are being treated differently."
Mm.
Um, and he tried to carry it over, and it became about space aliens and all kinds of other shit. It did.
Oh wow, dude, that's a weird thing. Like the people who come out like about aliens, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know he did. I didn't know he was
Oh,
like,
he didn't. I'm just saying, like, he let it. He like unreined it, and
oh,
other writers came in and they were like, "Oh, these characters are weird. Let's make them into like, you know, mutants." And now there's going to be a bunch of aliens, and they have to fight them. And it's like, well, that's not what the X-Men were about.
hmm. Like as a kid, of course, like you're like,
You
wow,
feel like it's a power fantasy.
yeah, but yeah, exactly. And I mean, for one, yeah, it's just,
It's just you want to be more powerful than what you are.
yeah,
And these comic books and these characters, they make you feel stronger. Um, but it's funny when, like, I don't even know which ones, but like these like organizations catch on. They're like, they're poisoning our youth. They're making them think
right.
they have power, and they don't. And they're a bunch of weaklings. And it's like,
And it's like, no, it's
can I have
just
a
a
little bit?
comic book.
It's just a comic book.
Yeah.
And can I like imagine that I have power? And
Yeah, like can I like just like you said, live out this fantasy in some ways,
yeah,
in the book or in the movie, whatever, for that hour or, every time.
however long, like an hour and a half, or like however long it takes me to read this book, makes me feel kind of good. It
but
stretches kids' minds in a way that I think we don't understand as adults, but in a good way, not in like a
yeah, and it's not.
unless it's like Magneto.
Well, I think that wraps it up, though. I think for the
We've been-
movies.
We've been recording, right?
Yeah. I think we got most of the movie stuff though together, so that's good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Should we do a salute? Like a
yeah,
goodbye.
yeah, we should.
Okay. All right. This has been Film Juice. We have juiced the 3 cinematic Punisher releases. I'm Mike,
And I'm John.
and we will see you another time.
Oh yeah, make sure to like or subscribe,
Oh, yeah, we need to do that.
and leave us comments, and let us know what you liked, what you didn't like.
Let us know what you want us to watch.
Mhm.
If you want us to watch something, we will. We'll do it. We're stupid. We'll lay down with our bellies up. Just tell us. All right.
All right. All right. We'll see y'all next time on Film Juice.
Goodbye.
Frank, give me your wallet. Frank, do you want to die? For the last time, give me your wallet.